Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we're unwrapping the story behind something so incredibly common, you've probably popped one in your mouth countless times without a second thought. But I guarantee you, the journey it takes to actually get to you, it's anything but ordinary. We're going to look at the epic, almost cinematic manufacturing marvel behind a simple, everyday staple. That's right, we are tracking the incredible industrial journey of the Hajmola digestive tablet.
Okay, let's dive into this. You've almost certainly eaten one, tasted that signature tangy, spicy kick, and just kind of went about your day. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder exactly how it's made? What really fascinated me when I was looking through the source material is that this ubiquitous, nationwide staple doesn't actually begin its life anywhere near a noisy factory floor. Nope, its true origin is much quieter and much, much further away. To really understand this process, let's look at the macro-level roadmap. It's basically a four-step evolution. Step 1 is cultivation. Step 2 is roasting and blending. Step 3 is high-pressure tableting. And finally, Step 4 is nationwide distribution. All right, let's jump in. Starting right at the very beginning, we have Section 1, the farming foundation, cultivating the perfect spice blend. To truly get the final product, we have to literally ground ourselves right here in the dirt. The essential raw ingredients, the absolute bedrock of that iconic flavor profile, are cumin, black pepper, and ginger. And out here, the pace is steady. It's totally organic, dictated entirely by the seasons. You see, once these raw crops are grown and harvested, they can't just be tossed onto a truck. No way. They have to be thoroughly sun-dried first and then meticulously cleaned to get rid of any field debris before they're finally ready to be shipped off to the manufacturing plant. Which brings us to Section 2, the alchemy. Roasting and mixing spices. All right, this is where we leave that slow, quiet pace of the farm completely behind and step right onto the high-energy factory floor. The very first ingredient to hit the heavy machinery is the dry cumin. It gets fed straight into these massive roasting machines. And check out this number, 130 degrees Celsius. The factory uses this extreme, sustained heat for a very specific reason. It dramatically enhances the cumin, pulling out this huge, intense boost in its natural aroma and unlocking its core flavor profile. It's like turning the volume up to 11 on the spice. So once that cumin is perfectly roasted, it's time to build the master blend. The freshly roasted cumin is mixed with the black pepper, the dry ginger, and a few other select spices, and they're all poured into these absolutely massive industrial vats. And here is the really vital part. It's this intricate dance between the heavy machinery and the skilled workers to make sure these ingredients are mixed with absolute total precision. I mean, they have to get this exactly right so that every single batch, and ultimately every single tablet you've ever tasted, tastes absolutely identical. Moving right along to Section 3, the transformation, grinding the perfect powder. Now, what's really interesting about this step is that it introduces the raw mechanical power of the factory. This is where that raw power truly takes over. We're transitioning from whole spices into the actual texture of the final product, as the master blend is fed directly into a tremendously powerful grinder. Boom, boom, boom. The rhythmic, heavy thud of this industrial equipment just smashes the rough ingredients over and over again until they're completely transformed into an incredibly fine, uniform powder. But hey, the process doesn't just stop with one grind. It moves immediately to the sieving machine. This is strict, relentless quality control right here. The sieve automatically filters that fine powder, actively searching for and catching any large, imperfect granules that somehow manage to survive that first heavy round of grinding. And what happens to those large granules? Well, they're sent right back through the grinder. Repeat, grind, sieve, repeat. The factory does this multiple times for one very specific reason: perfect consistency. By grinding the powder several times, they make absolutely sure the particles are perfectly uniform. I mean, this level of microscopic uniformity, it's literally the only way to guarantee that every single tablet delivers that exact same perfect burst of flavor. All right, now we are reaching the absolute peak of our manufacturing journey. Section 4, the climax, forging the tablets. This is, hands down, the most dynamic, critical, and honestly kind of mesmerizing step of the entire process. The finely ground powder is fed into a high-speed tablet-making machine that uses sheer, brute mechanical force. It relies on extremely high-pressure compression to take that loose, spiced powder and violently press it into those iconic, small, round tablets in mere fractions of a second. It's crazy fast.
The powder goes in, the pressure slams down, and boom, a perfectly formed tablet is born instantly. And this brilliantly illustrates the true magic of modern industrial manufacturing, the sheer scale of it all. Because of the incredible speed of these high-pressure machines, thousands of tablets are created every few seconds. When you zoom out, that equates to millions of Hajmola tablets being produced every single hour. To put that into perspective, it takes millions of tablets an hour just to meet the crushing, endless nationwide demand for this tiny little product. It's mind-blowing. Which brings us to our final stage, Section 5, the final mile, packaging and distribution. So we're cooling down a bit now. We're moving away from those violent pressing machines and transitioning onto the smooth, rhythmic, endless flow of the conveyor belts. Millions of freshly pressed tablets slide down into a highly automated packaging process. First, the machines rapidly funnel them into individual packets. Next, those packets are seamlessly sealed into consumer boxes, packed tightly into huge industrial cartons, and finally loaded straight onto transport trucks. And from there, a vast fleet carries this complex spice blend, literally born in the dirt and forged under immense pressure, to every single corner of India. And that entire epic journey finally ends right at your local shop. From sun-dried ginger on a quiet farm to a high-pressure press forging millions of units an hour, all just for that tiny tablet in your pocket. It really makes you appreciate the engineering behind the everyday things we usually just take for granted, doesn't it? So, knowing all the intense heat, pressure, and absolute precision that goes into making it, I have to ask, what is your favorite flavor? Let that question linger for a bit, and the next time you pop one in your mouth, remember the incredible journey it took to reach you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep your curiosity alive, and I'll catch you in the next one.